You have a better chance of Bitcoin going up than you have of the US dollar going up. I'd rather pay $2,400 in rent than $2,400 in mortgage because I can get out of that rent every 10 months. That mortgage is 30 years. Elon owns no homes. Steve Jobs owned one. Warren Buffett owns one. Barry Sternlicht owns one home, okay? But he owns 140,000 apartments.
The most good-looking man in all of South Florida. My goodness.
Yeah, brother.
Wow.
How you doing?
Good, man. Good, man. So good to connect with you here. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, you got it, man. Appreciate you being interested enough in me to do it.
Totally. No, are you kidding? You as a 29-year-old, content creator in Boston, you inspired me in more ways than you'll ever know. So I can't thank you enough for pumping out the content that you do.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You're 29?
29. Yep.
Wow.
29. Boston.
Good for you, bro. You're so far ahead of the game, ahead of where I was.
Oh man, it's actually because I was going to wait till later in the show to do this, but because of you, the timing of this couldn't be better. When we originally scheduled a couple weeks ago, we put in an offer on a 5-plex. It's been 2 weeks or whatever since. Early stages, but we got our LOI accepted. So hello, we are we're officially in the early stages of being a 5-plex owner.
Good for you, man. Good for you, man.
Thanks to you.
Good for you.
Yeah. We're pumped. I don't know. I come from old school Irish, 401k working class, mom and dad.
Yeah.
And, as a 29-year-old absorbing your content for the last it's probably been 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Heavy grant. So I can't thank you enough.
Okay, so let's roll, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Where are you right now? I love your setup, dude. That setup is freaking awesome.
And this is no green screen. This is like TRL back in the day in Times Square. So we are at the front entrance of the TD Garden, right where the Bruins and Celtics play.
Fantastic, man.
This is real traffic. And then Hurley, I don't know if he can see this.
But you're windowed. Are you windowed? You're not in an open. It almost looks like you're in an open space.
Yeah, no, we're in it's a studio that we flipped where the cameras are in front of us, lights here, and then live floor to ceiling windows, behind us.
Wow, fantastic, man.
And then we have you up. I don't know if you can see that.
I can see it behind you. Got some kind of it's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah, so they got your face on this big TV screen. This is North Station as people are walking, to and from their trains.
Yeah.
The old 9 to 5.
We ought to give them a link to something.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's got to be a discount to something here. There's got to be some sort of book or course or So I want to run you through this segment's called Good Deal, Bad Deal, and this is a real deal. My own capital is in this deal. Hilarious clip either way. If it's a bad deal, hilarious. We can put it on our channel.
100%.
If it's a good deal, mazel tov. Great. Yeah. So it's a 5 units.
Okay.
It's in Pembroke, New Hampshire. $750,000.
5 units, $750. So what is that? $175 a unit?
Exactly right. Yep. The cap rate is 8.25. 8.84 is the cap.
Okay.
Our NOI is $66,283.80.
Yeah. Okay. I don't need the 80 cents. So who gave you that NOI, by the way?
This is my old bigger pockets calculator here, if you will.
Okay.
Crunch the numbers. This is why I was like, oh, I can't wait for Grant to just light me up on this.
Let's see if it's a good deal, dude. Like, you got an LOI. How would you rate the location?
It is definitely it's working. It's a blue collar crowd over there.
It's a C. It's a C minus.
Yes. It is not luxury by any means, but it's
that's
not.
Fine. That's fine, dude. It doesn't have to be luxury to work. And what are the rents?
And the rents are $1,350 a door, and they're all 2 beds.
Yeah, I don't know how it's I don't know how it's an 888 cap then.
Right.
I don't believe you're going to hit the cap rate.
Look at this, calculator in hand, pen and paper. This is what we're talking about. Oh man,
this is what I do, dude. This is the what city is it located in?
It is in Pembroke, New Hampshire, so about an hour north of Boston.
Okay. All right. So let me just tell you what I think. Okay.
Here we go.
So
no deal with Grant Cardone,
dude,
folks.
it's 5 units. You said it was 5 units, right?
Yes, sir. 5 units.
Times 1375 a month.
Yep.
And okay, I'm gonna assume that you collect 100% of the money, which is impossible.
We have 2 property management companies we're interviewing currently that allege they will both take 6%.
Yeah. Well, first of all, bro, there's no way in the world you can possibly have an NOI of $66,000. Okay?
Thank you. This is
effing impossible.
Right.
Somebody gave you some bullshit, told you, oh, you're going to hit. That means you would only spend 20% of the total revenue on property taxes and insurance. It's not possible. And that's assuming that you collected every penny. So it's probably a 6 cap. The $175,000 a door is too much. You should be paying for this deal. You should be paying probably, what is it? 19. I'm going to guess the year 19. It was built in 1963.
You'll hate this even more. 1885, but it's been redone.
Okay.
It was redone like early 2000, something like that. Needs a new roof, needs a original asking price.
What? I don't care. That's a piece of useless information.
75
That's
grand
like a woman having sex with me and then saying, I've never done this before.
Instant lie. Isn't that the worst lie?
I've heard more women tell me that, dude. Like, oh my God, she's literally swinging from the roof, okay? And she's like, I can't believe I've never done this before. I'm like, yeah, but you're so good at it.
First, I brought my own trapeze, but it is my first time. So,
I bring this with me everywhere just in case, but I've never done it before. So, look, I know you got an LOI in it. You're not hard on the deal yet, right?
No, it's nothing in it. Literally just accepted we got an inspection next Thursday. So
when did it trade last?
It was 5 years ago. It traded last,
and it traded for how much?
Last when it was purchased, it was $725. Traded for 5 years ago.
They want,
and they originally wanted.
Yeah, dude. They paid too much for it. Okay.
Right. Yeah, the LOI is accepted at $750. The original asking was $825.
They want $750. So that's what per door. That's what one. Yeah.
Yeah, $750 is what they accepted.
Yeah.
I took the old Cardone negotiations. Hey, best and final.
Look, I think you want to be. They overpaid for the deal. I don't know that I would do this deal. I would do for you. Okay. First of all, I want to invite you to our real estate conference we're getting ready to do as my guest, VIP guest.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And I want you to throw this deal away, and I'm going to show you how to do a 32 unit deal, how to put no money in it, maybe even a 100 unit deal. Let's just fucking forget it, dude. Let's just skip to the good shit like they say on Instagram.
Cancel.
Let's just go. Your first deal should be 100 units.
Yep.
And I'll take you on as a project. I'll personally mentor you to 100 units to prove the people over at Bigger Pockets who trashed me for years, by the way.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's close this up. What are we doing?
No, it's all right. They just had a different way of looking at things. Like I've had a lot of people hate on me, but because I was like, but I bought $5 billion worth of real estate. So, I mean, something about what I was doing was right. I used to do the small deals. And then one day I did a 48 unit deal. And I'm like, shit, this was no more work than a 1 unit deal.
Right.
And I'm like, and then if it works on 48 units, then I went and bought 68 units. And then I bought 92 units. And I'm like, maybe I can do 140 units. Like it gets easier as you get bigger and you don't need any more money. So if you let me,
100%. But
young grasshopper, the first thing you got to do is you got to throw this one away.
All right, done deal. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, so you got to get in here. This is my wife. This is born and raised in East Boston.
Hiya.
You know Uncle G.
How you doing?
He's saying trash the 5-plex, which I agree. Okay. Right? Trash the 5-plex, and he's going to mentor me into 100 units.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you won't need a manager, dude, because right now you're going to be running around town when you should be having kids, taking care of your wife, running your podcast, growing your business. You're going to be trying to collect checks from 5 deadbeats. So And look, some people want to do that business. If I were you, I wouldn't do that business. That's not a good business to be a manager. You want to be a real investor, and that means you need scale. We can just skip, and I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah, that would be. I've been on so many of your webinars over the years on that exact question of originally I was like, I'll go the condo route. I'll dump, I'll take my Instagram brand deal money and just dump it into real estate. Yeah. And then I found you and I was like, okay, I'm slowly starting to think bigger. Yeah. And then it's the mental hurdle is like, how do you go from, I guess it's like, how do you raise let's say it's 100 doors. Yeah. How do you raise the money? Like, is that a friends and family round? Yeah.
It's not it's not complicated at all, man. Don't even worry about what they call it. Like, people talk about Series A, friends and family, 501(c)(3). I don't even know any of that language, bro. I don't know the difference between a title and a deed. Right. Okay. I don't know if I need an LLC or I don't worry about that stuff. What I need first, and what you and your wife need, is the property. You need a great deal. The rest of this bullshit, all this complication, gets resolved later. Okay. Like, the bank's not going to let you do a deal without an LLC. Right. 100%. And the bank's not going to let you do a deal without insurance. And the bank's not going to let you do a deal that doesn't underwrite. So all these things are going to get handled. The unfortunate thing, and this happened to me as well, the sequence at which people approach things, whether it's their podcast, their business, their marriage, kids, buying a house, it's out of order. Dude, the sequence is messed up. And particularly in real estate, people, when I was buying my first real estate, I was buying based on how much money I had. So it was almost like I was buying Christmas presents. Okay, I have $1,000, I can spend $1,000. In real estate, it doesn't work like that, because the asset is what determines whether the deal's good. And you don't want to approach real estate with an asset. Blackstone doesn't have any of their own money in real estate. Right. And they have $1 trillion worth of real estate. Yep. So unfortunately, bigger pockets, and I'm not trashing them. I'm just saying everybody on the social platforms, all the real estate advisors, all the guys, even including me, like anybody giving advice on anything, if they're not reaching into the cloud at the top of the food chain, you're getting your data from the bottom of the food chain. Right. So how does Starwood do it? Barry Sternlick owns 140,000 units. He doesn't have any of his personal money in those 140,000 units. Yep. I can show you how to do this, man. I started on this. I'm still learning. I'm a student. I'm a practitioner. And we started raising money 5 years ago. Everybody told me not to do it. It's going to be terrible. You're going to get sued. It's going to be a nightmare. We've raised $1.3 billion. Last month, I sent out $7 million to my investors. The month before that, I did $6 million. I've sent out over the life of the funds, we've sent out, I don't know, like $230 million in distributions. That's incredible. So yeah, have I had problems with a couple of people? Of course, dude. I have 15,000 investors. Right. Yeah, I got remarkable. Yeah, I got. They get like fractional equity on the back end to get. Is it like quarterly distributions? No, they're a partner in my deal. I give them a distribution every month. We do distributions every month. Gotcha. In the beginning, you might want to do, depending on what you do, but I'll show you. Like, if you do your first deal with friends and family, 6 or 7 or 8 guys. Right. The 100-unit deal we're going to do with you, okay? First of all, we're going to pick a great market. Yep. We're going to pick, if you want to be in Pennsylvania, we're going to pick the best market in Pennsylvania where you can actually collect rents, where people want to pay their rent, and where you can raise rents and you can have an exit. Right. And we're going to buy something for below replacement cost. You're not buying that for below replacement. That's a piece of garbage you're buying right there. Right. Right. I could put you in something brand new for $175,000 a door. Right. Yeah. See, and get you the scale you need. Okay. And if it's a good deal, bro, if you can't raise the money, I can raise it. Right. Totally. See, this is the $1 billion mentoring, more you talked about order of operations. So, thinking back to when you were, we're 29, wife and I are married, live right here in Boston. This is we don't argue, Grant, very little arguing. Our one
tiff, if you will. Some of us, half of us in this room, are on the home search, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, got it.
To raise kids with a yard, not we're literally right above, North Station Thicket. What would be at 29 the correct order of operations that we should be looking at investment wise, life?
Yeah, it's a great question. Look, when I was 29 years old, I was buying a house, and it was a mistake. Okay, I bought the house. I got lucky actually because I've been so frugal my whole life.
Right.
Even today, I'm an extremely frugal person. Most real estate people are very practical, frugal. Even some people would say cheap. Now, because I was born into a middle class family, but I ended up living on the streets when I was 20 years old.
Wow.
And so, like, I watched my mom struggle for money. My dad died when I was 10, and I watched the struggle, and I watched, even though we had a full refrigerator, my mom was always scared.
Right.
And so then I ended up, like, I went down the rabbit hole ugly. And so I became very, very interested in money and make sure that would never happen to me again. But I cleaned up my life when I was 25. By the time I was 28 or 29, your age, I'm like, okay, I got to go buy a house now.
Right.
I bought the house, and before I closed it, somebody said they would rent it from me. And because I'm a whore, okay, I'm like, fuck it, shit, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and rent the house. I made $200 a month because I was on. I don't mean that I was a whore. I was on the search for money, right? So this opportunity came up, right? This opportunity came up, and I was like, okay, shit. But I didn't plan the opportunity.
Right.
Okay, so
presented itself.
Yeah, I bought that house. I put $3,700 down, and I was making $200 a month, $2,400 a year on a $3,700 investment. I'm said, shit. And it was literally like, I stumbled into it. So I bought another house in the same neighborhood. Okay. I bought this one with no money down, and I moved into it. I ended up making 30 grand on that house, but I shouldn't have done that. Okay. I should have reinvested that money in my business or another rental.
Right.
And like, if I did my whole life over again, bro, I would not buy a house until I'm super rich.
Right. Talk to me about that. I know you've gotten heat. I'm on your side with that too. I know you've gotten some flack on the internet of that. You saying that, it changed, literally did the rewire. You talk to mom and dad, and we love mom and dad. Yeah. But they're, old school thinking.
It's out sequence, bro. It's out sequence. Your parents, remember, everybody that came to this country came from another country where they probably didn't own a home. They came here and they're like, oh, the land of opportunity. Okay. This America thing is the greatest promotional machine. You guys have to remember, if you're an American, you're living in a promotional machine. The greatest marketing machine on planet Earth is in America. We have been brainwashed in this country to so much bullshit. It's unbelievable.
100%.
And we just found that out last week with our president that can't finish a debate. So like I'm looking at this thing saying, shit, I've been lied to about everything, bro. Like this guy can't finish a sentence. I saw that for myself. I don't need anybody to tell me what happened. Like
100%.
What concerned me was, like, I've been lied to for 66 years. Okay. Yep. Well, buying a house is the American dream was one of the great lies perpetuated on Americans.
Right.
If you study
the banks, right? That was
100%, dude. Banks bank. If you do the math on what banks have made, who ended up with all the money? The American middle class because they bought a home, or the big banks that lent the money?
Right. The big banks.
You cannot show me a middle class person that has a building that looks like Goldman Sachs in New York.
Right.
So, like, the score, once you take off your blinders and look without bias, okay, without defending your grandfather or your father or your uncle or your teacher or whatever, bro, like, you get out of school, the whole sequence, even when you get married, like the whole sequence is out of order, bro. Like, the sequence is, I'm going to go to school, then I'm going to get a job, then I'm going to buy a house. I don't even have any money yet. Like, you're entitled to buy a house.
Wedding,
I'm going to borrow money for a wedding.
Right.
I'm going to have kids I can't afford.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're supposed to be a modern society. Like, you would look around and say, okay, I need money before I have children.
Right.
I need to know how to manage responsibility. I don't need a house yet. Why do I need a house? Why do I need a little gate with my name? Hey, the Wilsons live here and we're happy. Bro, it's out sequence, right? It's out of order. Right. So look at Elon. Elon owns no homes. Steve Jobs owned one. Warren Buffett owns one. Larry Ellison's worth $128 billion. He owns like 36 homes.
Right.
Every one of them, by the way, is on the ocean. On the ocean or on the water.
Right.
So what am I learning by watching that, right? Barry Sternlicht owns one home, okay? But he owns 140,000 apartments. So Donald Bren in Anaheim, he owns all of Orange County, built all of Orange County. He owns one home. So the point is, why are Americans going after a house when they should be, buying the neighborhood?
Totally.
So once you and your wife, your beautiful wife, figure out where you guys want to invest, let's go invest for the next 5 years. Pay the price for 5 years so you can do anything you want for the next 50.
Right.
And so for 5 or 6 or 7 years, maybe you just rent a condo, bro, and you drive your car in, you give the keys, you go upstairs. How many kids you guys have?
We no kids yet. You'll love this. Actively try TTC, they call it, trying to conceive, banging with a purpose is what I call it.
Yeah. Boy, that's the hardest. That's the hardest.
No one talks about school. School doesn't prepare you for this whole banging with a purpose situation. Every month it's like, oh God, let's get this out of the way here.
God has got a sense of humor, bro. Anymore. Right? When you're in high school, you want to hit everything, and then when you want to have a baby, you're like, God damn, I don't want to hit it right now. God,
right. I'm like, it's 11. We got to get to the studio for Grant. We can't be, what are we doing here? No one prepares you for it.
That would make for, you'd definitely get a bunch of views. So anyway, back to the home thing, it's just out sequence, right? So I bought 2 houses. I realized I'd made a mistake. I started doing research. I'm 29 years old. One of the tenants moved out. That left me with a house and a mortgage and a house and a mortgage because I was living in one of them and renting the other one out. And I'm like, I'm doing something wrong here, dude. I don't want to pay the bills. Okay, that's not an investment. If you live in your home and you pay the expenses of the home, that is not an investment. That is an expense by definition. And by the way, your home should not even go on your net worth statement.
Right. God, I love that so much.
Okay. So I would rather pay $2,400 a month in rent. This will be a headline for you. Great clickbait. I'd rather pay $2,400 in rent than $2,400 in mortgage. Okay. Because I can get out of that rent every 10 months. That mortgage is 30 years.
Right.
So, and I don't think it's throwing money away to rent.
Right. I agree. I got a buddy. So we live literally right across the street here in this high rise tower. The rents are insane. You pay for parking. I got a buddy that's always busting my chops. He's a homeowner and thinks it's an asset. Yeah. And we'll butt heads, because it's a liability. He's like, oh, my mortgage is $3,500. He's like, your rent is $4,700. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, Fred, you put a new roof on. You did new flooring. They had water damage in their basement. I was like, our refrigerator breaks this evening. I put a little thing in our portal, a new fridge is getting dollied up. It's a fixed cost, our rent and parking basically.
He's not counting his HOA fees. He's not counting property taxes. He's not counting out of control insurance.
Right.
He's not counting maintenance. It's 1% a year. Okay. Property taxes in Florida are 2% a year. So that's 3 points every year. His interest rate on his loan is either 3%, 4%, 5%, or 7%. Pick a number. They all suck, dude.
Right.
So 100%. I would rather pay 7% that a renter. I would rather pay 7% on a mortgage that a renter pays than 3% on my home that I pay.
Right.
All I'm saying, bro, is there's a right time to buy a house. Most people are not living in their dream home.
Right.
Okay. You're 29 years old. You don't have enough money to buy your dream home. Is it nice? Right. Yeah, it's probably nice, but it ain't a dream.
Right. When is the, you hear like Jay-Z talk about, don't buy it until you can buy 2 of them.
I agree with that.
when is it like appropriate, would you say, to, go ball out? And
when do you buy dumb shit? Okay. My rule for buying dumb shit is you got to be able to buy 2 of them out of passive income though.
Right.
Now when I say you got to be able to buy 2 of them, don't buy 2 of them. I told a guy this once, if you want a Richard Mille, you need enough cash to buy 2 of them. And what did he do? Fucking guy went and bought 2 of them. I said, bro, you need to be able to buy 2 of them. You don't go buy 2 of them. You need enough. You need enough money.
Too literally.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, 1, you need the money to buy 2 of them. You need it in cash. Number 3, you need it as passive income. Whatever cash you got should not have been earned income. So if I earned it, got a commission, a bonus, came from a salary, and I saved it, that is not the money I want. I want passive income coming from some source independent of my efforts, okay, that was recorded by the IRS as passive income. And the fourth thing would be admit, if it's tax deductible, even better.
Right.
And the fifth thing is still admit that it's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. See, we live in such in the land of, content creators. We're in such a gray area with what's,
Yeah, that's not passive income, bro.
Right. No, 100%. No, I'm saying on the write-off side, it's like, I talk to buddies that are in the same space, and they go ball out and buy something stupid and make a video with it. Now it's a write-off.
That's not a tax deduction. That will not stand up. That will not stand up in an audit. I bought a Rolls Royce because I'm a podcaster. I bought a Paddock because I'm a podcaster. It will never stand up ever. Right. Okay. Not only are you going to have to pay the taxes you avoided, you're going to end up with a penalty of about 15% a year and interest on that. Like, you're going to look up and say, that cost me 2 or 3 times what I tried to write off.
Right. This is Grant. You might, and maybe this is in the works. Grant, you need some sort of. We need you in the school system. We need to abolish schools and get, Dude,
I just wrote Donald Trump a letter yesterday. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I wrote him a letter. You want me to read it to you?
Oh, that'd be amazing. I got to, in passing, I got to shake that man's hand at F1 down in Miami.
Yeah.
And haven't washed my hand since, What an awesome opportunity.
What a cool dude. So I said, hey, July 9th, 2024. I'm good on time if you are, by the way.
I was going to say, you let me know. Yeah.
President Donald Trump, I want to assist your administration in rolling out a nationwide program, Financial Freedom for All Americans, that will be ready for the public the first day of your administration. Financial Freedom for All Americans will provide wealth education to all Americans on exactly how they too can achieve financial freedom. The first time in 20 years our government has attempted any financial education in this country was back in 2002 with George Bush. The country wasn't ready, Bush was not the right person, and the technology did not exist. But because of lifestyle social media, what you were just talking about with the Rolls and the Paddocks, the American public is now inspired to create wealth for themselves. The technology exists through streaming, public broadcasting, social media, that we could actually get it out to everyone. And we could do this with little or no cost to the federal government, no taxes. The American public wouldn't have to pay for it. And we can inspire the American people that financial freedom is a possibility. On January 6th, Mr. Trump, I can be ready to roll out the Financial Freedom for All Americans. The goal would be to build the strongest financially independent middle class that exists anywhere in the world. I would donate my time and resources to assist your administration in creating this. I go through 3 phases, blah, blah, blah. Grant Cardone, let's do it.
Oh, man. We need dude, that would change the game,
That means, because Americans need we need to be rewired, okay, on investing.
You figure from first grade, let's say you do go to college, from first grade all the way through senior year of college, they have, 6 hours a day with students through the whole course of their life that are just, feeding them and it's kind of, this is really putting on the old tin hat here, but it's kind of disgusting to see what the school systems are teaching. And that is exactly what we need right there. We need imagine learning what we just talked about today. Imagine learning that in, sophomore, junior year of high school, and now you're starting to totally think different career wise.
Yeah. Why do people, why do I need to go to college to learn this when I should have learned this when I was 12 years old?
Right.
What is a good investment? How much money do I actually need for financial freedom? Why is that one thing never taught anywhere in the school system? How much money do I actually need?
Right.
Before I pick a career path, before I go down a road, wouldn't I want to know where it's going to get me?
Right. And what would you say to that? Is there a, if we were to role play this out and you're, maybe graduating high school, or maybe we take a step further and maybe you're not even going to college. What is the, I should have X amount of dollars of, liquid to put into X. Like, is there any equation where you're like, okay, when you graduate, you should have, 100,000 or 10,000.
Yeah, I don't. First of all, I would never want to be liquid ever. Okay?
Right. I love this about you. I love that you go broke. I believe it's twice a year.
Yeah.
In cleaning out the accounts and putting them into real estate.
Well, yeah.
You know how many car rides my wife and I have taken, and you're playing on the truck speakers. And you'll say that line. I'll look over and I'll be like, "You hear that?" Like, we're doing that. We're dumping. You want
zero liquidity, bro.
Right. And why? For those that don't understand, like, why is that? Why do you dump out the accounts twice a year?
Because all you're doing is, again, you're benefiting the banks. Again, all this was hypnosis by the banks. Buy a house. Everyone deserves a house. Save your money. The mantra, listen to it. Save your money.
Right.
Save for a rainy day. You need 90-day emergency account. I've never had a 90-day emergency in my life.
Right.
90 days, bro, the government steps in. Okay? I'm 66 years old. I didn't know this when I was 26. There will never be a crisis so big where the government won't step in and save the world.
Right.
Look at COVID.
I was just about to say that. Yep.
Okay. COVID didn't even last, man. Like there was nothing happened because the government unleashed the money.
Right.
So the government, the country will never fail. Okay. There is no failing in the United States of America. So everybody keeps waiting for it. My mama's been waiting for it since 1929. Right. She's been waiting for food lines. There's never going to be food lines again, folks. It's over. Okay, that day will never happen. 90% of the people will always be working. There will always be activity in the marketplace. So I don't want to keep cash, okay, because cash makes people weak. And I don't want liquidity sitting around. If you had $1 million and you saved that, if you had $1 million in 2020 and you looked up today, that $1 million in a bank account would still say $1 million. But it only buys about $750,000 worth of goods and services. So if the government,
no one understands, at least at 29 in my little friend group, I'll say that same line and they're like, "What do you mean, man? I log in. It says $1 million right here." And I'm like, "Yeah,
hey, bro, there should be
full
the federal government. If I was the the president, I would have the Treasury have to report to the American public on every bill. If this was printed in 2020, it can buy you $750 today or $75. Let's say it's a $100 bill. It should have on there the disclosure, just like the ingredients on food.
Right.
This is only $75 today.
Looks the same, feels the same, buying power. Yeah.
If the bill said 1958 on it, this is really $10.
Right.
If that's what people saw, they would never save money. Okay? But because 100%. It's invisible, inflation's invisible, like COVID. By the way, inflation took over where COVID stopped. We went COVID, Ukraine. The American public didn't buy Ukraine.
Right.
So they just went to the inflation bug and terrify people. It's always something that you can't really put your finger on that they're scaring you about.
Right. The invisible robber.
Yeah, exactly. So, but inflation's been happening for years, bro. Like my whole lifetime, inflation's been happening. It's not a new thing. It always happens. By the way, if you own assets, you want inflation.
Right. Totally. Rents go up, appreciates.
Yeah, exactly. So, and as rents go up, the value of the property goes up.
Right.
So that's why I say I don't want liquidity. I want assets. And I would tell people, if you ever get $100,000, every time you get $10,000, invest it in something real estate that cash flows, gold that doesn't, Bitcoin. Just put 10 grand in some Bitcoin and freaking cross your fingers and go get you another 10,000.
Right. Totally.
You have a better chance of Bitcoin going up than you have of the US dollar going up.
Right. Totally.
So it almost doesn't matter what you do. Now, I like cash flow. So if I put 10,000 in something, I want to get a $5 next month.
Right. Final couple questions here. Again, I can't thank you enough for your time here. This has been awesome. You're a huge Uncle G's been an uncle to me many times over than you even know. So thank you so much. When you're looking at back on the multifamily side, when you're analyzing a deal, and maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 7, but what's your top 3 most important things where you're like, okay, it checks 1, 2, and 3. We like it. Let's go ahead and put in an offer. What would be those 3 things?
Yeah, number 1, dude, when I drive up on it, the location needs to be stupid.
Right.
Like I don't care what it looks like. The location needs to be ridiculous. I would rather pay a higher price for a great location than a lower price for a poor location, because I can never change the location. And the location costs you something every day. It's not just the day you buy the deal, it's the tenant driving by, the possible close to work, close to Whole Foods, close to Starbucks. You cannot change it. There's no amount of money that changes the location. And even when you sell it, the thing you should be able to lead with is, bro, this location is irreplaceable. Number 2, it needs to cash flow.
Right.
We're paying cash. We just bought, I'm extremely optimistic about real estate right now. We bought $450 million worth of real estate in the last quarter with all cash, no debt. Okay.
Wow. That was I was seeing that online. Was that a South Florida deal?
Well, it's 4 South Florida deals. I am the most active. This is not hyperbole. I am the most active real estate investor in the country right now. And so, and that includes the institutions. This is the greatest real estate correction in my lifetime since 2008, maybe back to 1996. This will be the greatest real estate correction in our lifetime. This is the perfect time for you and your wife to go buy that 100 units, 200, 400, or 1,000, bro. Like you and your wife could have 1,000 units by the time you're 35 years old.
That's the new goal right there.
Okay, number three thing, location, cash flow. Number 3 thing is I need to know my exit when I buy it. Now, and my exit can be multiple things. Most people only know an exit is I'm going to sell it. But that shouldn't be your only exit. Warren Buffett talks about he never buys something where the only way he can make money is to get rid of it. It's kind of this is what's wrong with flippers and wholesalers.
Right.
I buy something. The only way you can make money, you only have one door out. You would never build a theater with one door.
Right.
You can't get out of the place if there's a fire, right? So you got to have multiple exits when you invest in something. By the way, I covered all this in the book, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate. Maybe my team will give you a link and they'll give a copy to all your listeners if they want to grab it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yes, we would love that.
Yeah,
that would be incredible.
Johnny, make sure that he has the link to How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate. I'm not going to ship it out to everybody, but I'll give everybody a link.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That
perfect.
Our audience would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I want to end on this. My wife she is like a purebred East Boston, born and raised, has the thick Boston accent. And I'll give you a little sampler. Just stew on this for a second. Okay, ready? Rapid fire. Don't even think about it. Just say it how it comes to your brain. I'm going to say a word. She'll repeat after me. Because I've noticed you have a great accent too. So I have a little treat for you after this.
Mine's just easier to understand than hers is.
Yeah. Exactly. Say TD Garden.
TD Garden.
Parker.
Parker.
Harper.
Harper.
Car.
Car.
Muffler.
Muffler.
Bumpler.
Bubbler.
What's the other one? Carter.
Carter.
Very dangerous, hard to understand. And I've watched a lot of your content. You have a incredible Southern. I'm a big accent guy. You've got an incredible that Southern Louisiana draw. Similar deal. Don't even think about it. I'm going to say a word. You repeat it.
Oh, dude, this is going to be this. My wife and kids make fun of me all the time about things that I say.
See, and that's, not that I'm with her for the accent by any means. She's great, meant to be a mother, a perfect lady. But boy, that one of our first, dates were not in public. We were back in my apartment. I was like, it's just me. You can drop the whole charades here. And she was like,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll say a word. You repeat it how you would normally say it. Don't even think about it. Mentor. Mature. Wednesday. Art. Rural.
You've been listening to the words that I fuck up, huh? Rule and roof.
Yeah, there it is. That was my other one. Roof was I literally took notes, and I had I've been listening to you. We'll go on car trips all the time, and I'll throw on your lives, on YouTube and stuff. And any word I would just, because she's anything. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, Grant, I can't thank you enough. You have been such a mentor to me, and I know you get tons of heat on the internet, but guys like me that, young guns that, only really have kind of mom and dad as direct contacts as mentors that, mean well, but aren't pointing us in the best direction of what we should do with our working dollars. So I can't thank you enough for pumping up the content that you do and for steering us all in the right direction.
Yeah, dude,
here.
look, I'm never trying to be right. I'm trying to really, my whole life has just been a discovery of like, if what I'm doing is right and I'm 30 years old and I'm busting my ass and I'm working hard, why don't I have any money?
Right.
And then when I have money, why do I have money now and I don't know what to do with it? I'm not sure. I was 31 years old. I had $350,000 and I'm like, I saved it. I worked for it. My uncle said, man, you got to learn how to start getting money to make money. And I'm like, I have no idea how to do that, bro. Like I spent 17 years in school and I don't know shit about it. And so, when I tell people not to buy a house, not to save money, not to do an IRA or 401k or a Roth, I'm not telling people that because I'm trying to be right. I'm telling people that because I guess you could do that. I don't know anybody that got rich in a retirement account. I know Vanguard got rich and Charles Schwab got rich and Fidelity's worth $7 trillion, but I don't know any families that got rich with a retirement account. And when you start looking at it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be 85 years old and I'll end up with no money in my retirement account and I die. Like, that's not a fucking plan, dude. That's a disaster.
And you see the horror stories too of people open up their 401ks after retiring and there's, barely any left over by the time they go to, pull it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm challenging myself all the time to figure out, hey, what's right, what's true, what's not true. I'm not trying to be right. So to all the haters out there, man, whatever, man. I love you guys. I wasn't even talking to you, by the way, when I said don't buy a house. This was meant for somebody else. You heard it. The hater heard it, and he needs to comment on why I'm such an idiot. Look, I own 2 homes. I actually own 3 homes, and they're all stupid.
Right.
But I'm in a different position than a lot of people.
Yeah, you could do exactly.
And I'm going to buy a yacht one day, and it's going to be the dumbest thing I ever did. And I'm going to enjoy every dumb moment of it.
Yeah. 100% drink it in.
We'll invite you and the wife out too. We'll go to the south of France, spend a week out there. I like it.
Let's go. Yeah, we're there. You let us know.
Okay.
I'll book the flights. I'm there. You let us know where you need us.
Let's get you that 100 units this year, man.
I honestly, I would love that. Absolutely. Let's whoever we need to get in contact with on your team, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
I'll have them hit you.
We're liquid and we're ready. So that would be amazing.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great catching up with you, Grant. You were the best. Thank you.
Be great.
Awesome. You too. Bye.